What's a good word, everybody? Welcome back to Technically Speaking Live. It is Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are 5 whole ass days away from Christmas and all the ho-ho-hos you can count. Yeah, that sounds about right. Tonight's show is going to be an interesting one. I'm going to actually go ahead and put this on mute really quick now that I heard that little jingle jangle noise. We got an interesting show. We're going to talk about a little bit of AI music because what you heard right there at the introduction of this show was music that I created. That's right. Your boy is a music creator now. The man can do it all. I'm going to rock this Santa hat with the best of them too. Ho, ho, ho. See you later. We do have Stats in studio. I'm going to bring him in a second. But again, we're going to talk about the best phones of the year. MKBHD put out that video. And whoo boy, people got some hot takes on that. We're going to talk about superpowers with a catch. Talk about your favorite all-time Christmas songs. Any last-minute gifts you want to buy me, I'll send you my address in the DMs. Go ahead and slide in there. Apple Watch you can't buy in literally starting either today or tomorrow. Sometimes very close. Google Bard. Always going to talk about Google Bard because we love Google Bard. And beepers versus Apple, if we ever get to it, is once again in the chat. But I do want to bring in ya boy, the big guy himself. Not Santa, ladies and gentlemen. Another big guy. You're not built like him.
I'm not quite that chubby.
You are not. You are not like him.
Check back next year. We'll see how this goes.
Malcontent, we are definitely probably going to talk about that for sure. Definitely going to talk about that. Miss Pixapio, nice to see you. Miss Sheila, always nice to see you. I am a top composer. That is right. I can literally do a podcast creator, YouTube extraordinaire, Santa hat rocker, and a lot of things in between.
AI word typer.
Big pant wearing guy. That's us. Now we're going to go ahead straight into the...
You actually don't wear pants, though. You wear shorts.
I do, for the most part, wear shorts. You're right. You're absolutely right. So again, I hinted at it in the beginning. What you see right now is actually an AI made by Google. And that AI, I believe I put it in the show notes. If you would be so kind as to type it over to our fellow people in the chat, you can today go out and type in exactly what you see on screen. Jazz instrumental, no lyrics, with steady beat, or anything until your heart is content, to create an AI-generated bit of music. Now, full disclosure, right there on the main screen that you see, there's a settings button. You can change it to 30, 60, or 70 seconds. Just go do yourself a favor. Just make it 70 seconds. And it will give you the ability to just AI generate some music based on the words that you think in your head. That's it. That's all you got to do. And you too can create it. So what you heard in the beginning is absolutely AI generated with just words from my brain. That's it. Stats was here when I made it. It took all of 2 minutes?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Well, and we spent more time listening to the different clips that were generated by the words from our brains.
Yep. We created...
Then we did actually typing stuff in.
We created 16 30-second clips, 2 minutes, 3 minutes, and we were just listening for the most part. Absolutely insane. AI Test Kitchen with Google.com. Check it out today. Check it out after the show. You can put in some Christmas beats. Word of warning, it gets weird really quick.
Just like AI.
Just like AI in general, it gets very, very weird. But let's talk about 2023 Phone of the Year. This has been a tremendously hot topic. If you don't know, MKBHD put out his annual phone award show thing that he does. Good, well-produced, about 26 minutes worth of a show. It was great. I watched every single solitary second. And so let's talk about what some of the phones of the year actually were. Now, I got to tell you, he had a bunch of different categories. Big phone, small phone, best value, best camera, best design, best foldable, most improved. The one that was kind of like the bust of the year, he had that. He also had, let's see, I'm trying to think of what, and then the phone of the year. The phone of the year is obviously the MVP. It's the piece de resistance, the best of the best, so to speak. And there has been a lot of conversation about that award. And we'll talk about it in a second. But at the same time, he also, just last week, put out another website of the best phone taking photos. Like, it is his blind camera review for all smartphones. There were some surprises there too, which I thought was very interesting. But let's talk about the awards. Best big phone, Samsung S23 Ultra. I can't really argue with that. It's got a lot of horsepower. It's really gotten better. It came out in January. It's stayed true through the rest of the remainder of the year. I was not surprised that it won. I just wasn't surprised. I was hopeful that it was not them, but I'm not surprised that it wasn't.
I don't think a lot of people were surprised just because they have been so consistent with the Galaxy S line over the last 3 or 4 years. And you know they're going to have amazing cameras. You know the processing speed is just phenomenal on those phones. So
hardware's not going to be a problem.
You know, it's not surprising.
Best camera, iPhone 15 Pro. Again, can't argue with it. Is it the preferred image that I get, that I want? No. As a matter of fact, on my Instagram, at the Scott Peachy on Instagram, you can check out in my stories. I put a photo up of me from a iPhone 14 Pro versus a Pixel 8 Pro. I prefer the look out of the Pixel than I do the iPhone. It doesn't mean it's bad. It just means my preference is that of the Pixel. And that's always what I say when it comes down to iPhone photos. I don't enjoy the color as much. I think the colors are fine. I just prefer a more darker tone, more cold tone of the Pixel than I do of the warmer tones of the iPhone. It's quite literally your preference.
Right.
So, and this gets into, this award show always gets into, and I got into a good conversation with Tech King Mike on Twitter. This gets into the same conversation about everything. It's either A or B. It's you either are the winner or you're the loser. You either are Team Apple or Team Android. You're either with Pixel or against Pixel.
Unless your name's Scott Peachy.
Just stop digging your heels on both sides and just for once, listen. Both sides need to do this. Malcontent, for the best camera, did he combine stills with video? Yes, he did. It was basically the overall camera system, which I cannot argue with. Matter of fact, stats is on an iPhone. Literally, this is what you see. And the thumbs up, hopefully the iPhone will recognize it. It didn't show up, but that's okay.
Which one?
Was it the heart emoji? Was it the thumbs down
Jazz
for
hands?
Was it the thumbs down for the rain?
Yeah, I think so.
Boo, it didn't show up. That's okay. You just look like an idiot. Perfect. Welcome to Technically Speaking. But again, we've got to, folks, I'm going to take this time to jump on a soapbox. Sorry, Stats, I'm going to go for a soapbox right here.
Okay.
Would you cut the shit out with getting on one side or another? I'm guilty of it. I know I'm guilty of it. I put out a tweet earlier that Terry McLaurin, famous wide receiver for the Washington Commanders, had been bullied in 9th grade to change to iPhone because when he was put into a group message, they just continued to mess up the group message because everybody was iPhone. So everybody was iMessage, which means that he was Android, and ultimately it ended up hurting him from a sociological perspective. Whether you agree with it or not, it did. You can think that it's dumb, it's still the fact. And so again, I go back to the point of Apple knows this, and they're choosing not to do anything about it, which I don't blame them for.
Yeah.
Because that's the point of the ecosystem.
Yeah.
I don't believe that they should open up iMessage. I will say that right here. I do not believe they should be required to open up iMessage. I do believe that we have every right to ask them for some concessions on messaging as a whole. I'm not asking for all the same horse shit that's already in iMessage. What I'm asking for is something different. In order of preference for me, This is just me, my opinion. Take it for what it's worth. My opinion, they should immediately make sure that the photos and the videos that you put in a message from one person or another or a group or whatever doesn't look like a freaking potato. And here's a perfect example. Over the weekend, my daughter went to an Olympic development camp for water polo because she's freaking amazing. And my wife took a video and she sent it to me, and it looked like a bunch of potatoes swimming in water. I could tell nothing. So she had to send it to me in a Google Photos link because she's iPhone, I'm Pixel. That's not great. That's off. That's a terrible thing. And if I weren't an informed person, I would assume that that video that you sent, like, my God, iPhone's videos are awful. Why did you send me that? But we all know that that's not the truth. We know that that's not the truth. So what we need to ask Apple is the interoperability of key things for universal messaging. I don't want all the bells and whistles from iMessage. What I want is good quality photos and video. I would love the ability to see if somebody's typing. I would love the ability to see if there's read receipts. I would love the ability to emoji react and it not be so-and-so emoji reacted. I don't care. Don't send it in a message. Put it on the message there. And then end-to-end encryption. That's it. I don't care if you make the bubble black, white, purple, pink, green, whatever. And then don't break group chats. That's it. That's it. That's all I want. I don't want the ability to pay anybody through iMessage. I don't care about your stupid games. Location, I don't use your Apple location anyway because I don't want to end up in the middle of a field. That's my point. Just it's basic universal messaging things. And you, Apple, are intentionally, and it is your right, you are intentionally ignoring that. You won't. You're still going to screw up the RCS. Let me just go ahead and say it. And they're going to do it because they can, because they know iMessage is really, really good, and it does lock people into the ecosystem. I don't give a rat's ass what anybody says.
Well, and
that is horseshit. If you say, I'm not in that, bullcrap. Don't lie to me. Don't lie to me. You stay in there because iMessage is more than you're willing to admit, and it's okay. But don't double talk me.
Yeah, I was going to say the other reason Apple will either slow roll or intentionally not join RCS to its full capability is the EU back down. They're not going to force them to do everything that they threaten to do.
All I want, videos, photos, typing notifications, read receipts, emojis that are on the actual message, not so-and-so said thumbs up, and end-to-end encryption. That's it. That's all I want. That's all I want. And see, Michael says, Apple knows they will not allow Android to talk to them through iMessage. I agree with you because iMessage locks people in. I get it. I really do. But this goes back to my point. We cannot, both sides of the fence, Apple, Android, whatever. A lot of people are stuck in, they've dug their heels in on the one side and said, this is Apple's fault, completely Apple's fault. This is Android's fault. If you want all those bells and whistles, get on your iPhone. Stop that. That's not how this works. So let's actually anoint people that can be the cooler head and see both sides to actually figure out how to make this happen for the best of everybody. Apple, don't open up 100% of your iMessage. Android, don't expect people to open that up 100%. But let's meet somewhere in the middle. Therefore, on December 20th, 2023, here is my plea / request / offer. Dear Apple.
Christmas wish.
Dear Google. Dear Samsung. Dear Android, dear Apple. Here's the deal. I will be your spokesman for both sides. I will be your mediator. I will mediate both sides. I am an active user of both ecosystems. I have a preference for my phone. I have a preference for my everything else. The everything else being Apple. The preference for the phone is Pixel. I am quite literally one of the best people that you could put up there. I will speak on behalf of no one other than myself, but I will be the mediator that you desperately need. Therefore, here we go. I'll do it for free. I'm doing it for free. I don't care. I'm gonna do it for free. I'm gonna do it for the better of humanity.
Okay.
The best part of human. I am doing this for free. I will do this on behalf of every user, and I will be that mediator that you both desperately need. Because right now, both of you are acting like petulant children. Mm-hmm. And I will be the adult that you need in your life. And it's a really sad time when I'm the adult. You didn't want me to do it for free? You want me to get paid?
God, no.
Why?
Don't do anything for free. Get paid, son.
Well, I mean, if they want to throw me like a MacBook Pro, I'm fine with it. And if Pixel wants to throw me a Pixel, I'm fine with it too. Look, I'm very cheap. We've talked about a lot of ho-ho-hos here. I'm very cheap. Very cheap. I mean, hell, you could probably throw me a cheeseburger. I'd probably figure it out.
Okay.
I know he's trying to take my spot of Mr. Pixel. I am the Lord, though. Thy Lord. So he can have Mr. Pixel, but no one can take Lord Pixel. Big Papa Pixel. Anyway, phone of the year is Pixel 8. Not really a shocker. That did upset a lot of people. A lot of people.
Well, yeah, because they were probably looking at everything else and going, well, you know, the iPhone 15 won best camera, it won best battery.
Well, the iPhone 15 Plus won the best battery. Only the Plus, not the Pro and not the regular.
Well, but it's still the 15 model range.
I get it, but it's still just the Plus specifically. He did make a good call out there. OnePlus Open being the best foldable. Thought that was very good. I agree with that. He had honorable mention to the Pixel Fold, and then I have seen some other folks out there saying that that was the bust of the year, which I think is very interesting as well. Pixel 8, in my opinion, was very deserving. There's a lot of great deserving phones, and this comes back to the whole premise of the conversation I was just on about the interoperability of messaging. It's really through your preference. If you prefer a phone like a Pixel 8, wonderful. If you prefer a phone like an iPhone, also wonderful. Both are fantastic. Both have quirks. Both are incredible. Do whatever works for you. That is the beauty of what we have. But I go back on that little bit of soapbox a little bit to say there should be just some universal truths, regardless of ecosystem. And to me, messaging needs to be one of them. I think the EU really dropped the ball on that one. Messaging is a big deal. I mean, billions of text messages get sent per day.
Hell, per minute, probably.
I bet you it's multiple billions of messages per day get sent via some sort of messaging, whether that's through WhatsApp, Facebook Messenger, Telegram, Signal. I mean, there's got to be billions. And again, that's kind of part of the problem. It's billions, right?
Oh, yeah.
I was going to say, it has to be a lot.
Number of text messages per day.
So I'm assuming when we mean text messages, globally, we mean some sort of textual thing like WhatsApp, Signal, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
Okay.
Per day, 23 billion.
That's a lot of billions.
Per day.
That's a lot of billions.
8.4 trillion per year.
That's a lot.
Yep.
That's like a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Like I knew it was billions, but I was thinking more like 8, which is still a huge number, by the way.
Right.
And another reason is there's a lot of times over, I believe in India, actually what they'll do is they pay bills via their text messaging service.
Oh, yeah.
So they absolutely need that to be secure. So that universal messaging would just be better for everybody in general. Anyway, so there's that. I bounced around. I did touch on a little bit on the beeper stuff. I did touch a little bit on the iMessage stuff. We'll probably come back to beeper here in a little bit. But yeah, Pixel 8, the Solana Saga phone, which I've never heard of until actually, I take that back. I forgot about that phone because it was a crypto phone. Won the bust of the year, as it should have, because holy God. And Mr. Boombox's most favorite phone, the Nothing phone too, best improved. Which means if you are watching Nothing, which you're not, if you are, our boy Scotty BoomBox wants one. So go ahead and send it over here. Hit me in them DMs, and I'll gladly talk about it and get you on the show. And he will thankfully Love everything about it.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on to the next one, and this one's a little bit interesting. Superpowers. Now, superpowers with a twist.
Okay.
And the twist is this. So this absolutely started from, we talked about it right before the start of the show. This absolutely started with the superpower concept was with around CRISPR gene mutation.
Editing.
Yeah, it's a mutation because you're editing it, but whatever. I would argue that you're mutating it.
You're changing it.
That's a mutation.
Additional mutations are possible.
Yeah,
mutations are never guaranteed.
Anyway, so that started with if you could change something about yourself, which we may end up getting to later in the show, that's where this conversation starts. Superpower heroes, but with side effects. Hold on.
Okay.
You have the ability to transport anywhere on Earth, but you cannot teleport to the same country twice.
So is it only teleportation, or do I have multiple?
So I can read a whole
teleport and fly.
I can read a whole bunch. So tell me, I pulled out a lot of superpowers, and I'll tell you if I got it. So so tell me what superpower would you like, and I'll offer. If I have it in my list, I'll tell you can have it, but it comes with a side effect.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go with teleportation.
Teleportation. So you can
instantaneous transmission.
You can do that, but you cannot teleport to the same country twice.
Well, I mean, there's 220 some odd countries in the world, and if I can I teleport within the same country?
No, you cannot teleport to the same country twice.
But
if that side effect is too great for you, I do have another one for you to choose from for teleportation.
I was going to explain how it's not too great, but go on.
Okay, if you don't like that one, I do have an option B side effect for you.
Okay.
You can teleport, but every single time you teleport, you arrive naked. Your clothes do not go with you.
I was going to say that's the Terminator teleportation.
Yep.
Fine.
You'll take the nude?
Well, yeah, because I'm not spending that money on an airline ticket, so I'll just go buy some clothes.
There you go. You're hearing it here first. He prefers infinite transportation through teleportation, but Wang's out, Chang's out, folks.
I mean, just spreading this goodness all over the world.
Joy is coming out. Hit me with another good one. Like so flying, malcontent. You did say flying, and flying is on my list, but unfortunately the side effect that you get for flying, every time you fly with a massive erection during the flight and then 1 hour afterwards. I'm sorry. That's a real tough side effect.
Well, malcontent.
Real tough, but happy flying.
All right. So how about like always just being in incredible shape, like Wolverine? Your body just constantly regenerates itself.
Oh, so like a constant regeneration.
Yeah.
So let me get into my list. The constant let's see, constant regeneration. So I have one that's basically like super strength. So I'll give you super strength.
All right.
You function like the Hulk. Congratulations. You function. But instead of becoming stronger when you get angry, you actually become more slippery. Slippery, meaning when you get mad, you begin to drop stuff and slip and fall, which then means you get more mad and you get more slippery. Tough draw. But congrats on the super strength.
Oh,
really happy that you have that.
So how do I get the super strength? Just by not being mad? Super strength is my baseline?
That's your baseline.
Oh, that would be tough at work.
So you function like the Hawk all the time.
Slip sliding everywhere.
All the time. Ooh, here's another good one. This one's a really great super hearing, right? Like that would be great.
Yeah.
Super hearing. Unfortunately, the side effect is the only thing that you can hear is every single orgasm around you within 5-mile radius.
I knew that was coming.
Rough.
I knew that was coming.
Rough. Can only hear that though. That is rough. Mind reading. That's another one. Great one. Mind reading. You have the ability to read people's thoughts. Congratulations. Unfortunately, that also comes with the side effect of the inability to speak. Tough.
You know everybody's
Tough.
bank passwords, but you can't spit it out.
It's rough. Congrats on being able to read people's minds, though. Real good. Oh, but if you don't want that side effect, I did find it further down in my list that you can also read people's minds with the other side effect. But some of the people that you read their minds, they can read your minds, and you don't know who's who. So it means that you can read their minds, and then there's going to be some around you that can read your minds, but you don't know which ones. You don't know which ones. So do you take the no talking and you keep your thoughts in your brain? Or do you throw it out there, but you never know what people's going to know?
Okay.
Being on time, malcontent superpower, being on time. There is a time. You can stop time at will. You can stop time at will. Side effect, you can't restart it.
They've made several science fiction episodes or movies about that, and it never ends well. The remote breaks or somebody's arm falls off, you know.
Super speed. I do have one on super speed. So super speed.
You should become a raging lunatic.
You just simply perceive everything slower than the normal person, so you experience life in slow motion. I love this one. The power to eat anything you want and never get fat. Side effect. Nothing tastes good.
Yep. You lose your sense of taste. Yep. These are very classic.
Very classic.
Genie in the Lamp trademarks.
It really, really is. Oh, the ability to talk to animals. This one was my favorite because I love animals, except for certain types of animals, and this will make sense in a second. You have the ability to talk to
like clowns.
You have the ability to talk to animals. You find out that all animals are huge assholes and they insult you all the time. And then you also learn that birds are giant racist assholes.
And dogs only pretend to like you for treats.
It's true. It's true. Oh, I mean, my dogs do that now.
All right.
I feel like we do that now.
We got X-ray vision.
X-ray vision. I do have an X-ray vision around here somewhere. Where did I put the X-ray vision? I think I actually deleted that one. I did not come up with an X-ray vision one. I did like this one. You do have the ability. You can reach in your pockets all the time and always have the right amount of money to pay for something. Side effect. You don't have pockets.
Your clothes don't have pockets.
Yep. You don't have pockets. Tough. Rough.
Tell you what, I'm going to be making a pocket.
The ability to grow hair at will. Cool, right?
You don't know where it's going to happen.
Except it grows everywhere on your body at the same rate.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I would need a superpower of free razors at that point.
How about shape shifting? Always a classic, right?
Okay. Yeah.
You only literally
Elastigirl.
You can only transform into literal shapes: circle, square, triangle. You shapeshift only into those shapes.
Oh, that's a big old cylinder just walking down the road.
A big old trapezoid. Bum 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 bum. Last two, the power to have an answer for every question that's ever asked. And you can only answer those questions through song.
Mime.
Through song. Last one, the ability to infinitely shit gold coins. You'd be rich.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
You could shit gold coins. However, those coins are a foot in diameter.
Diameter or length. It doesn't really matter at that point.
Whew. Rough. Anyway, those are some of the superpowers with side effects. Superpowers with side effects.
Maybe that's why superheroes are always grumpy. They're
just
side effects that they just don't tell us about.
Trying to bring a little joy to the Christmas spirit this year through superpowers with side effects. And now, like I did last week, there was an awful list of the greatest all-time Christmas movies. Now we're going to go with the 65 best Christmas songs of all time.
Okay.
This is from timeout.com music, best Christmas music. This was Friday, November 23rd. Now, there are classics on this list. I actually agree with quite a bit of them. I'm surprised at how low some of these are.
Okay.
So we're going to go number 60 on the list was the 12 Days of Christmas from Bob and Doug McKenzie. If you don't know who Bob and Doug McKenzie are, it's actually Rick Moranis from a like
Ghostbusters.
riff off of a classic song. Christmas Vacation was 59. Honestly, a lot of these, the 50s, Hey Sis, It's Christmas by RuPaul. Like when you get out of the top 20, it's real. Like it's a lot of remakes.
Well, let me ask this question a couple different ways. Is there at least one Elvis song?
Checking.
Control F, Elvis.
Yes, number 26.
Which one?
Blue Christmas.
That's what I was going to say. At least
Blue Christmas.
At least he's on the list because he
is
put
on
out
the list.
several Christmas albums. He had several original Christmas songs, which are very hard to do. And I am okay with this list because it includes at least one Elvis song.
Yeah. So I believe. So I have a lot of very overrated Christmas songs, and I have Christmas songs that are very much cherished by me. I think one of the greatest, most overrated Christmas songs of all time is actually probably it is the number one on this list, and I think it's the most overrated. And it is "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey.
Yeah,
that song just beats you in the face.
Yep.
I'm so sick of hearing that. Look, the mama's got to get paid. I get it.
Yeah.
But my God, I am so sick of hearing that song literally by the 2nd of December or 2nd of November.
Right.
Another one, "Wonderful Christmas Time" by Paul McCartney. Cannot stand that song. And then "Happy Christmas, the War is Over" by John Lennon and Yoko Ono.
Yeah.
Very overrated. God, it's so bad. But the number one song, according to this list, was "All I Want for Christmas Is You" by Mariah Carey. The Christmas song by Vince Guaraldi. Okay, hang on. That was... I don't have it in my... It's not in the top 15. It's not in the top 20. I don't see it. I don't see it in this list.
Well, it is...
"Oh, Tannenbaum" is number 30.
An instrumental, so that...
"Run, Rudolph, Run" by Chuck Berry is number 28.
Is "Grandma Got Run Over by a Reindeer" on this list?
Let's find out. Grandma. Nope.
Darn.
No grandma on here. That is a good classic song. For me, "Last Christmas" by Wham. I love it.
See, I don't like that song.
Christmas, I gave you my heart.
I've never liked that song.
Give it away. That's number 3 on this list.
Wow.
"Fairy Tale of New York" is number 2. Never heard of that.
Well,
"White Christmas" is number 4.
I think a lot of people have never heard of the number 2 song until just a couple of weeks ago, when the lead singer of the Pogues died, and they were I think it was the Pogues.
It is the Pogues. Congratulations. That was great.
Yeah.
It is the Pogues, by the way.
Well, he passed away like 2 weeks ago, so it has been talked about and played nonstop over the last couple of weeks.
That is number 2 on this list. "White Christmas" by Bing Crosby. By the way, Bing, unfortunately, don't go read about him. Save yourself. If you like Bing, don't go read about him. Because I did. Makes you change your tune a little bit.
Terrible assistant too, but
Bing, great singer, velvety tones. That is "White Christmas" is one of my favorite Christmas songs. This is controversial. "Baby, It's Cold Outside." I get it. I understand. I get it. The world was a different time back then.
Yep.
I understand. I get it. But when I hear that song, then it's Christmas.
Especially, and maybe I just started noticing it, but a year or two ago, I started noticing it on the local Christmas radio station where it is sung as a true duet,
Mm-hmm.
call and response with an extra verse. I really like that version of it.
Yeah. So I get it. I do. I know I could get canceled for that. I don't. But when I hear that song, to me, that's when the holiday season kicks off. But none of them are as great as this next song. None of them.
Oh boy.
My number one, Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band.
That version is fantastic.
The best Christmas song of all time.
He's basically screaming.
I had the honor of going to a concert with my father, and that is my favorite concert of all time. It is a core memory that I have. The Springsteen puts on a freaking an unbelievable concert, by the way.
Oh yeah.
3 hours. 3 hours. Like we left early because we were 2.5 hours deep, and I was like, I'm exhausted. But it was right before Christmas. It was when Clarence Clemens, the saxophonist, was still alive. It was the full band. They played that song. I got to witness that live, and it's chills. Far and away, best Christmas song of all time, Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Bruce Springsteen and the E Street Band. Your number one is, when you hear this song, it just brings hair to your arms. Not that you didn't have it, but
right?
Like, it makes the hair on your arms stand up. That song is what?
It's probably White Christmas, just because that's the Christmas movie that I have seen the most times in my life.
Fair. But
every year I seek out and listen from start to finish one of Elvis's Christmas albums, because, you know, he is personally one of my favorite artists of all time. So I'm always going to try to get that in.
Which always makes me laugh, because I always like to poke at stats and say that Elvis is one of the most overrated artists of all time. And he literally craps in a box and leaves it on the back porch every single Christmas because I say that all the time. He gets very upset. He's very protective of Elvis. I get it.
You know.
I get it. It's like calling your baby ugly. I get it. Okay, moving on. We will get back to tech, I promise, and this is it right here. We are 5 days away from Christmas. You are probably 4 days from being able to figure out a gift that you got to get. Are you done shopping?
I think so. I was going over this last night. My sister's done, brother-in-law's done, niece is done, dad's done. Mom's halfway there, but it's also kind of her fault because she only asked for one thing, and it's not going to be available until next year. So I got to figure that out. But yeah, other than that, I'm done.
All right, cool. For those of you that are not done, by the way, I'm done. And by I'm done, I mean my wife's done.
Yeah. You've taken the packages from the front porch.
No, hold on.
Into the house.
To be fair, I did throw out ideas this year, and I did buy her gift, and her gift had to be. This is going to sound way worse than what I intended it to be, but I'm going to say it anyway. I had to give her gift ahead of time.
Just couldn't wait.
Because it wasn't appropriate for children.
Just couldn't wait.
There you go. Holy moly. Wasn't appropriate for children. I had to give her gift ahead of time. So she's already received her gift. But for those of you that have not received gifts, given gifts, or whatever, that's okay. 9 to 5 Google's got you covered. Ben Schoon, big fan of the show. Big fan of Ben. Ben knows what's up. Under $50 if you're on a budget, get a Chromecast.
Oh, yeah.
Get an updated Chromecast. Because
if
if you're still rocking a Chromecast from like 2016, it's time.
Yeah.
Upgrade. Chromecast with Google TV built in is anywhere between, you can find it anywhere between $29 and $49. Go get one. Huge difference. Google TV, fantastic. Currently $29, both currently discounted at Best Buy and Walmart, but go to Best Buy. Great experience. It's not the fastest out there, but it supports about 1 billion TVs. Wonderful, easy to use remote. You cannot go wrong. Anywhere between $30 and $50 right now. Go get it. For the love of God, upgrade your Chromecast. Upgrade your parents' Chromecast. Upgrade your grandma's and grandpa's Chromecast. Just go out there and do it. It's worth every single solitary penny. I have upgraded all the Chromecasts. I do it about every 3 years. Not that they don't work anymore. It's just that usually tech's gotten a little bit better in those 3 years, gotten a little bit cheaper, remotes get a little better, whatever it is. Go out and do it. Obviously, Google TV has gotten a lot better. There's over 800 free TV shows on its home screen. Yeah, it's gotten a lot better. It's not just about casting anymore. You can do that just like you did before. There's a lot of free stuff that you're missing out on if you don't go ahead and get that. How about a JBL speaker? Everybody needs a Bluetooth speaker.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I'm going to say.
Don't play it at full volume on the golf course.
Thank you very much. Don't clip it to your belt and play it as you're gallivanting around through a department store. I don't want to hear it.
When? What?
Yeah.
Seriously?
Oh, yeah.
That's why we have earbuds.
We're going to get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Under $100, Ben saying things like the Samsung SmartThings Station, a backbone controller. That is a wildly popular thing for a child, but also adults who like to play games on their mobile. But if you had a kid that loves to play games on their mobile phone, you can get this $99 controller that is a killer experience for mobile gaming. Or if you're like me, you do a little bit of mobile gaming.
Oh boy, we're reaching for accessories.
Remember this?
Yeah, Stadia controller.
This is a Stadia controller. This Stadia controller can be used via Bluetooth. You do a little jump through a couple little hoops. Very, very, very easy thing to do to switch it over. But you can have a really good Bluetooth gaming controller. So if you got one of these laying around, you do, brand new in a box.
Still has plastic on it.
You basically have a brand new Bluetooth gaming controller. So there's a couple options out there for you. $100 and up. You want to get a foldable phone? Not the foldable, a flip. Motorola Razr's out there for $499 right now. Best Buy and Google are trying to basically throw everything under the sun, every discount you can think of to get a Pixel device. If you got YouTube TV, if you got YouTube Premium, if you got this, that, and the other, if you have Google One, you can get about any type of coupon right now and get a Pixel for significantly less than the asking price right now. Go into a store and pick it up. A Meta Quest. Those are a Meta Quest 2 is $249, and a Meta Quest 3, which I just finally saw a commercial for the Meta Quest 3. Little AR type stuff. It's really interesting. I've never been into it, but there's still stuff out there. Headphones, like we talked about earlier. Headphones. Right now, Google Pixel Buds Pro. The Google Pixel Buds Pro at Walmart or Best Buy, $119. Do you even have the Pros? I did not give you the Pros.
No.
For $119, you can go get the Pros.
I'm rocking the A series.
You should probably go get the Pros.
They're doing fine.
Obviously, AirPod Pros are a great option, even for Android users. And now they're USB-C. Finally, they're USB-C. So there you go. Obviously, can't really go wrong either with a gift card. Or if you need my email address to send me a gift card, hit me in the DMs. I will gladly give you my email address. Miss Sheila, I didn't think the Chromecasts were.
No, I keep getting emails and ads for them. I think there were some versions of the Chromecast that were discontinued, like the most bare bones model with no charging cord, no remote or anything like that. But no, the Chromecast as a product line is not dead. At least not yet. This is Google, but not yet.
I mean, it is Google, and Google can do a lot of things. I lost my what?
Something just pinged.
Oh, yeah, no, it was my phone.
Oh.
Somebody sent me a text message.
I was like, we said the G word. I'm sure something hurt us.
No, it was a text message. It was from my sisters. Yeah. So, if you have those last gift, now there is one last minute gift that you can currently get right now, but here soon you're not going to be able to. That's right. The Apple Series 9 and the Apple Ultra 2 are banned in the United States.
Watches. Yes.
The watches are banned
Just to be clear.
in the United States. Apple has halted the Series 9 and the Ultra 2 sales this week. They announced that they are no longer available for purchase later this week. Matter of fact, the Ultra 2 and the Apple Watch Series 9 will no longer be able to be ordered from the Apple website after 3 p.m. on Thursday. So tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern. And in-store inventory will no longer be available from Apple retail stores after Christmas Eve. Now, the reason Apple... I'm going to make snarky comments because I'm going to make snarky comments because it is what it is.
That's the way we do it.
They got caught with their hands using other people's proprietary IP. Basically, there's a long story short of it. The purpose is they've been in the International Trade Commission announced in October that it was upholding a judge's decision from January that basically said Apple was using IP from a company called Masimo. So it is a medical technology company. It's a patent dispute between this medical company and Apple on Apple Watch's specific blood oxygen sensor technology. So Masimo and their CEO came out with a statement earlier today, but I'll be honest, I didn't read it. Basically saying that, Apple can't get away with just going and ripping off other people's IP. They need to basically pay for it or come up with their own stuff. So naturally on Twitter, what I did was I threw out a tweet that basically said, could Apple reverse engineer that?
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, because we all know that Apple is not a fan of reverse engineering anything, because I'm sure that they are a true titan of complete and genuine... I can't even finish the rest. It just makes me sick to my stomach.
Complete and genuine invention and innovation and marketing.
Most innovative company ever. Can they reverse engineer Masimo's blood oxygen sensor to where it is no longer a violation of stealing their shit? Now, of course, I said that tongue in cheek. Naturally. But it looks as though if you already have it, they're not turning it off. So if you got one, no big deal. It's not going to stop you.
Well, yeah, because Apple already has your money for that device, and they can use that money to either pay off the fine, pay off Massimo, or use it to develop their own stuff.
So what a lot of people don't realize is this has been going on since the lawsuit was filed by Massimo against Apple in early 2020.
Right.
Like,
well, it's probably because that's when they were developing.
They've continued to do this. This is just basically lawsuit after lawsuit after lawsuit. The censor infringes on several of their patents, Massimo's patents specifically. There is a second case filed by Massimo with the International Trade Commission because the company was pissed off that the U.S. courts were taking too long. Hi. You ever been to the U.S.? Everything takes too long.
Yeah, but it's about money.
And that's when they went to the International Trade Commission in June of 21. That's when they rendered the verdict in early 23, which, by the way, it's still ridiculous. Can we talk about that? That's how you filed this lawsuit in 2020? Back and forth and back and forth. No wonder these big companies can just hire armies of legal people and then just basically bleed you dry. They will just suck all the legal money you have.
Mm-hmm.
Like, even if it was like justified, Jesus Christ, that is a long time. My God.
Well, yeah, especially from Massimo's standpoint, where they could have potentially been earning royalties or payments for the use of their technology during that time period.
Just ask to use the patent. Like, again, this is where everybody's just.
Well, but
it's all about the
money.
money.
Business of spending money.
I know, it's all about the money. I don't know why I said that. Why do I talk? It's all about the money.
Because it's your show.
I had heard earlier that the potential economic impact is $600 million. That's what I've heard. To the watch? $600 million?
Yeah, but
what do you mean? Is that all?
For an IP potential theft of this magnitude from a $1 trillion company like Apple,
I get it, but
I mean that's orders of magnitude difference.
I get it, but like,
I mean, that's not
So
even a
there, so
bill.
you're telling me, like, I gotta find that quote somewhere, because somebody was said it was like between
I'm looking for it.
$4 and $600 million, the economic impact of not selling that watch. That that is unbelievable.
Okay, wait a minute. I must have misheard your statement. I thought you were saying $600 million was all Massimo stood to gain
No, no,
from
no,
this.
no. That's the
Okay.
economic impact of not having the watches. I
I
don't.
retract my
Okay,
outrage.
I
Then
was like,
yes,
whoa.
Apple could lose $400 to $600 million worth of watches. Okay.
I mean, that's a lot.
Still,
That's a lot.
for $1 trillion company, it's
I,
not a
I,
ton, but
I get it.
it's not chump change.
I get
Got
it,
you.
but that seems like
Got you.
so much money.
Well,
So much money. And last but certainly not least, I'm going to skip this Google Gemini one. Basically, there was an article that said that Google Gemini Bard's not that good. It was kind of a dumb article, so I wasn't even going to bring it up. Here you go. Apple versus Beeper.
oh boy.
And so this is a really interesting conundrum that we're in. So the CEO of Beeper came out yesterday and said that they had a potential, for lack of a better term, workaround. I don't know if they actually used that term, but they used the term workaround, or maybe they didn't. I don't know. I'm just reading into it. Basically, they can bring Beeper Mini and Beeper Cloud back to life for everybody. But the problem is you now have to have a Mac. So for people like me, that's fine because I have a Mac. For people like you don't.
Nope.
And the big appeal was using Beeper was you didn't need a Mac to use iMessage. So you could be a part of those cool group chats with all of the bells and whistles that should be standard from a messaging perspective that iMessage has for on your Android. However, now Beeper Mini is coming out with something that is strikingly like Blue Bubbles. So there is another service called Blue Bubbles, not owned by Beeper, owned by a completely different company. Now, effectively what happens is that you build this process using your Mac. And by the way, I'm going to grossly oversimplify this, like by a billion. Basically, you use your Mac to validate the fact that you have a legitimate Apple product to push the registration information to Apple so they don't ban you or ban the ability for the device to get iMessages, and then those messages show up on your Android phone. So it is still all your stuff pushed to Apple using your Mac to validate it, and then you can use your Android device, use Beeper Mini, which, by the way, I was a big fan of that app. I thought it was very user-friendly. It was beautiful from a UI perspective. So my question to you, sir, we have switched back to RCS. I don't think you use Beeper at all. I think it actually hasn't been working for you, has it?
No, not since last week when Apple got real
touchy
with it. Yeah.
So my question is, do you have any interest in even attempting to try it again? You personally. Take out the fact that you don't have the device.
I mean, I'm always interested in trying new things and, seeing if we can stretch the boundaries of the possible.
Sure.
But you and I mean, just by default, by turning on the correct settings on the last 3 generations of Pixel devices I've had RCS with anybody that I talk to, and the reactions and the animations and things like that are getting better, even when I'm talking to iPhone users. So Beeper wasn't a world changer for me. I was excited about it for a lot of the same reasons you were. I was just less excited. So if Beeper Mini or Beeper Cloud somehow figures out a way to come back, or if I can somehow connect through my work phone, which is an Apple product, and do it that way, but on my Android, maybe. Who knows?
I have something for you.
Okay.
Evidently, so how Beeper worked before was you basically put your information in, send it to, again, grossly oversimplifying it. It is very, very secure. Grossly oversimplifying it, goes to a Mac server farm and then goes to Apple. Well, Apple figured out that a whole bunch of people were using the same registration data for their devices, so they just shut it off.
Yeah.
However, it's different now because what I could do is theoretically your device and my device could push one registration data and it would go completely under the radar
Through your laptop.
through my laptop.
Yeah.
So theoretically,
that could
we
be
could use Beeper Mini again through the power of the Mac on my desk. So you could have it, I could have it, we could have all of our group chats back.
Interesting.
And so
do we have to pay $4 a month as opposed to just $1.99?
I think we'd each pay $1.99.
Okay.
Right now they said it's free for right now.
Well, yeah, because they're tired of taking people's money and not being able to deliver a product, which I will give Beeper a lot of credit for a company that is quote unquote bootstrapping themselves and trying to fight against Apple.
Now, Michael brings up a good point here. I can't try it if I have to pay $1.99 and Apple keeps finding a way to shoot it down.
Well, that's
to me, that's where I am
the problem.
Cautiously optimistic, and I will probably set it up. I'll be honest, I will probably set it up and then just not say anything to anybody and then just see what happens. Like, did Apple shut it down again? What is the uptime? What's the SLAs around the ability for it to be up? Like, I have a lot of questions when it comes to that. And so I'm usually a very much early subscriber, very much a person who dives in onto the bleeding edge. But this is one I'm even going to pull back a little bit and go, ooh, I need to see a little bit of headway before I decide to do like full whole ham dive back into the world. I had heard reports that their Apple accounts were being banned.
Right.
And I can't have that.
Yeah, that number
I
one,
cannot have that.
That's aggressive. And number two, that's egregious.
Yeah.
Because even, and this is where I'm having a hard time even considering trying to wiggle my way into the Apple ecosystem. Bringing it full circle to what you were soapboxing at the beginning of the show. They're basically just doing this out of spite because they can.
Well, they're protecting their IP, which I get it.
Well, when it comes to the Beeper product specifically, but pulling back even farther, they could act like the adults in the room. They could be truly innovative.
Sure.
They could be working for the betterment of society by just cracking open the door to their ecosystem. But I see what you're doing. We covered that last week.
It's all about the coin, man.
But hang on. Would you rather pay $1.99 a month for an authentic, top-notch, straight from Apple iMessage for Android app, or to where they still get their money, or would you try to backdoor it with Beeper and maybe it works, maybe it doesn't?
Well, but the answer is I would, but the problem that an unintended consequence of what that is okay, so I get a population of a bunch of $2.99s a month or whatever they're going to charge, right? But if a person in my already existing Apple ecosystem chooses not to buy the $1,000 device, how many customer losses am I able to absorb with a bunch of $2.99s on my books? Wow. It's much easier to keep the $1,000 on my books rather than a bunch of $2.99s.
Well, but I think that's a very easy economic equation to answer, because while iPhones are massively overrepresented in this country and let's say Western Europe, I believe they are still vastly outnumbered by non-iPhones around the world.
I think you know how many iPhone users there are in the world?
No.
1.46 billion.
Okay.
That's a lot.
Yeah. That's approximately
It's
1/8 of the population.
It's 21.67% of the entire world's market. It's more than 50% in the US.
Right.
So if we just do some math, let's just think for a second that they lose. And how many iPhone users are there in the US? So we're going to do the math. We're going to math live on air, which is never good because it's never going to work. So there are 135.97 million iPhone users in the United States.
Okay.
Which is nearly 49% of smartphone users in the country. Let's just assume for a second they lose 2%.
Oh, I was going to say lose 10%.
I was going to say, let's just for basic math, easy math, I'm hoping that they lose 2% of 135.97 million. I don't even know if my calculator can go that high.
So 10%.
So 135.
10% would be 13.5 million. So you divide that by 5. That's
97.
Yeah.
135.97 million times 0.02. That's 2,719,000. That's the number.
Yeah.
2.7 million. Okay. So that means 2.7 million people did not buy an iPhone.
Okay.
And times that by $1,000.
Yeah. So just add 3 zeros to it.
That is
2.7 billion. Yeah.
$2.7 billion. So if they lost 2%, they would potentially lose $2.7 billion in just iPhone sales. That doesn't even count like iPads, MacBooks, all that other stuff.
Yeah.
So how many users would have to make up the $2.7 billion? So if I divide it by $2.99
or $1.99, what Beeper Minis charge?
A number so big I can't even say it.
Well, but it's $2.99 times 12. So 3 times 12, that's $36 a year.
Okay, so you want to say
2.7 billion divided by 36.
2.7 billion. 2.7 billion divided by
36.
75 million.
So they'd have to pick up
75 million Android users to break even for the loss of the 2% iPhone sales.
But so if they lost 2% of their customer base in the US, but picked up 75 million customers worldwide, they break even. And
but why should they do that?
They don't
They're not in the business to break even.
Agreed. But, and
see, that's the problem is again, it's driven by the almighty dollar. But when you set back from a business perspective and think about it, why would they do that? And I think 2% is being modest because there's probably quite a few people that would leave the ecosystem if they knew that, hey, my messaging is going to be fine.
Right.
If my messaging's good, cool. So on my videos,
I'm going to go buy a $5.99 Pixel 8. Right.
And all my messaging's fine. I get great pictures. I get great videos. I get it half cost. My messaging's cool. What else am I missing with the iPhone? I can't wear the watch.
Right.
Okay. Can't wear the watch. So the watch keeps you in the ecosystem.
Well, they just
that's
pulled
one
the
thing.
watches out of the stores.
Well, they just pulled the watches out of the stores. Exactly. But my point is, if they would lose, that's how I believe iMessage is that important.
Oh, of course it is.
And the Apple Watch.
If it wasn't that important, they wouldn't have fought it this long.
Yeah. So.
All right, we need something better to end the show on than that.
What do you want to end the show on?
I don't know.
You tell me.
Well, we can't. I mean, that was kind of a downer for the last. I mean, not the last show of the year, but the last show.
It's probably going to be the last show of the year because I ain't going to do another next week.
Well, you could still have the show.
I don't want to do the show. BoomBox is out next week. You're out gallivanting around, I don't know, touching puppies or something.
Wrestling bears.
How do we want to end the show? I don't know. What's the next slide?
CRISPR.
That's
Tom.
Oh, did you see the decision that GM pulled out? Like they're like, hey, we took Apple CarPlay and Google
and Android Auto out. Yeah.
And then we put our own proprietary thing in. garbage.
And then,
what are you doing?
Did you see the very next day Ford came out and said, we're doubling down on Apple CarPlay and Android Auto.
I won't buy
we will never take it out of
I
our
100%
cars.
will not buy a car. My next car will have Apple CarPlay or Google Auto. I don't want it if it doesn't have it.
Right.
That's stupid.
No,
That's
I agree.
so dumb. Dumb.
How are you going to listen to your Christmas music?
Jesus
How are you going to listen to Mariah if you don't have
We have
Android
folks in the
Auto?
comments that are very angry at us about the hot dogs. Let's talk about that. I actually brought up the fact of the hot dogs.
Or burgers.
The person across from me actually was the one that said we should postpone it.
Well, for two reasons. One, I've eaten way too much food already this week, and it's only Wednesday. I'm going to be eating a whole lot of food next week. And, I think that would be a great way to start the year next year.
Okay, so let's go, big boy.
challenge.
Let's go, big boy.
Okay.
Right here, live, on air, 6 minutes past when we're supposed to quit.
It's fine. We still got people watching.
You think you want to lay the challenge down for next year. So you're saying January what?
I think it's the 3rd.
January 3rd. You want to go in whole ham January 3rd. Right after we make a New Year's resolution to not be fat, you want to go get fat on the 3rd live show. BoomBox should be back then.
Okay.
We can bring him in. He's the one that said postpone, not me. Not me. I was ready to go. I said cheeseburgers were my preference. We could do hot dogs.
I'm down for either. I'm down for the pizza challenge.
I could, dude. The pizza would ride dirty. I couldn't do it.
You work from home. You'll be okay.
That's the problem. You have to roll me upstairs.
We'll find
I believe it should be. I believe it should be cheeseburgers. McDonald's cheeseburgers.
Okay.
Actually, you know what sounds great? Burger King cheeseburgers.
God, I hate Burger King.
Do you really?
Yeah.
We could do Wendy's.
We could meet in the middle with Wendy's, yeah.
I mean, we love Wendy's.
Yeah.
Merry Christmas, Michael.
Are we doing JBC's?
I can't do the bacon.
Okay.
I just want straight, just like junior cheeseburgers, no bull. Like,
Okay.
no bullshit. Like, upsetty spaghetti with no mayo.
Yeah, well,
Wow. You really made her angry.
I've been doing it for 20 years.
Hello.
So are we competing against each other over a set time period, or are we competing against ourselves for a totality?
So are we a team or are we individuals? I think the individuals, I think you got to be individual.
Okay, that's fine. But are we competing directly, say, who can eat the most in X minutes, kind of like Nathan's, or are we saying,
I feel like it has to be.
Are we setting a goal of, I want to eat 12 cheeseburgers in a 60-minute show?
No, I think it's got to be a 10-minute period.
Okay.
Let's call it a 12-minute period. 13. Let's do 13.
13 minutes.
13-minute period. Set the ground rules, and then we'll go at it.
Okay.
Like, here we go. Like, Michael's right on top. He's right on top. White Castle.
We've done that before.
We have talked about doing this.
You and I have smashed a crave case.
A crave case. We could do a crave case. I feel like if we said we could go right to, there's one right down the road.
Yeah.
All right. I believe it should be White Castle.
I'm okay with White Castle.
Okay, there you go, folks.
I mean,
White Castle.
It's gonna make Thursday real tough.
It's gonna make Thursday morning at 3 a.m. brutal. Just brutal. So January 3rd. 2024, 9 p.m. because eating late is very healthy.
Oh, yeah, it's great. It's a sumo diet.
13 minutes. Crave case, if I remember right, is about 30.
Usually.
So we're going to buy a crave case. We're going to see who can do the most burgers in 13 minutes. This is going to be a disaster.
So basically, it's a race to whoever.
It's a race.
Well, but hang on. It's a race to whoever grabs that 16th one first.
Yeah, so here's the deal. We're going to do,
or do we just get 2 crave cases?
No.
Who can hit the most in 13 minutes?
No. I think you do one crave case, and you, for each of us, and we'll put it like right there. We'll put it on a table in between us, and we'll do 5 at a time. You have to put 5 down before you get up and get 5 more.
Okay.
So we'll have individual plates.
Yeah.
So you put 5 down,
The plate of 5.
then a plate of 5, plate of 5, plate of 5. And
the
then
other way I was thinking about it was we just split it 15 and 15, and then we buy 1 extra burger, because if you manage to kill your 15 in
13
minutes, then you're the first one to grab the winner burger, but you have to put it down. You gotta.
Oh my God, that is going to be so bad. Like, I feel like the first 8 are going to be
go in a hurry.
No problem. That first 8's in probably 5 minutes.
I mean, I'm going to wait. That's going to be my dinner.
100%. Like, I feel like, okay, guys, I see you in the comments saying 2 crave cases. Hey. Hey, it's my gastrointestinal stuff, not yours. It's mine and not yours. You should pray for the people in my house. Rectum damn near killed them.
Oh.
Okay? That's what it's going to be. I'm telling you, I think you're onto something with that. And I think the 1 needs to be a double.
That's fine.
The winner burger.
Or like the chicken ring burger.
Oh, God, I
whatever
can't do that one.
Or the fish patty. And it's been sitting there for 13 minutes plus however long it takes us to get back home and get ready for the show.
Not doing it. 1 crave case, 1 don't be quitters. We're invested in this. I'm vicariously living through you and the heart disease that you're about to get.
Hey, Michael Rusi's offering to pay for it. So
damn. Have a potty ready. I got buckets, baby. I got buckets. So what we're saying is this. Wait, whoa. It's a race. That's the purpose of it. Okay, we'll do 10 minutes then, since 13's too much. Okay, let's be honest. No chance we're putting 15 down in 10 minutes.
You could always double up.
You're gonna double up?
Why not? Just smoosh them.
Wow. So you've thought about this. We should make the rule like you can
food a lot.
We should really like make it like you can only eat 1 at a time.
Whatever rules we want to make, it doesn't matter because we'll both be subject to them.
Wow, look at this. Sharkfin comes out and said that I'm going to win. Here's the thing you guys don't understand. Sharkfin, I will let you in a little bit of secret before you put that money down.
Scott has a expandable throat.
I actually have lost to him in an eating competition, unfortunately, because I got food like stuck. And it hurt. Like it was like step and step. Like we were right there against each other, bite for bite. And then it got like I swallowed hard and it just like hurt and it got stuck. Like a whole 5 guys stuck right here. And then he pulled away fairly easily after that.
Yeah, it was midway through the second one.
Yeah. And that was tough. I still finished the second one. So 2 5 guys burgers. That's a good one. 3 5 guys burgers.
Huh? I mean, we've never done 3 before. We've done 2.
That is so many calories.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
it's also like $100.
It's like
if you're buying
that's like 3,500 calories in 38 seconds.
6 Five Guys burgers.
How
that's
many?
Like $100.
Okay, hold on. Doing a little basic math here. How many calories is in a White Castle? I don't think I'm gonna like this.
It's probably like 200.
Nope, it's definitely not that.
Okay, just a standard White Castle burger with the onions.
And
whatever else is on.
Here we go. That's a double slider. We don't want that. Double cheese. Nope. That's not it.
Michael Pepper.
Okay, that's not as bad as I thought. According to carbmanager.com, it says it's 140.
Well, times that times 15.
Oh, hold on a minute. That can't be right. Let's go to White Castle's website. White Castle's website. The original. No, it's right. The original slider. It is 140 calories, 60 fat calories, 7 grams of fat, lots of sodium. Yeah. Lots of sodium. What's the daily intake on sodium?
More than it should be.
Daily intake.
Probably about 100
of
milligrams.
Sodium. You're supposed to have 2,300.
Oh, well.
per day. This has 230 per burger.
Wow. So, if we did the 15 plus 1 challenge, that's 2,240 calories just in White Castles.
I feel better about that than Five Guys. I really do.
Guys?
Calories in
I can't remember. Did we do
Five Guys?
The standard Five Guys or the single patties?
We did doubles.
Okay.
Because that's
the regular one. So how much are they each?
Well, a cheeseburger is 980.
I mean, that would still technically be less. Well, if we did 3,
if you did 2,
980. Yeah, that's a lot. I mean, that's only 1960. So we're technically
Happy holidays, Miss Sheila. Thank you so much for everything that you do. We love you. We love you. We love you.
But I don't think we can only do 2 because we've already had that race. So
we can't do
bump it up to 3.
That one I still think White Castles is the move.
So that'll be the January food challenge is White Castles.
A monthly food challenge.
Well, I mean, we try to do 4 of these shows.
Can you drink a gallon of milk in an hour?
Can I? Probably. Am I going to? Absolutely not.
I would not do that.
I've seen those reversals of fortune, and they are not nice.
I am lactose intolerant.
Then I think you should absolutely try it.
I love ice cream. I love ice cream. And
could you
eat a carton of ice cream?
Well, I was thinking of the measurements. I know I can eat a pint.
Oh, that's child's play.
A quart in an hour. You got to fight the brain freeze. A gallon.
A gallon?
How long would it take you to eat a gallon of ice cream?
Isn't a gallon one of the ones with the handle?
Yeah, the big one.
Oh, Jesus.
The ones you got for your
the birthday parties, like you go in there.
Old,
yeah. Like that would take a while.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a gallon.
I mean, at some point you've got to put it back in the freezer or it just becomes a milkshake.
Correct. I feel like I could eat a carton of like Breyers.
So that's a quart.
I feel like I could do that. I could probably do that in 30 minutes.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Dude, I love ice cream.
Yeah.
How many Oreos could you put down? Could you eat a packet?
Oh, yeah.
Like a whole packet?
Yeah.
Like without question.
I've done it.
A whole packet?
Yeah. Now.
Not a row.
No.
No, I mean like a packet.
No, I got in trouble once. I went over to Greg and Melissa's one night.
I think I remember the story.
Greg and I were watching movies, and I ate an entire brand new unopened thing of Oreos. And Melissa came downstairs the next morning and said, "Who the bleep ate all of the Oreos?" And I went,
"That was my bad." Yeah.
So I came back the next day with 2.
Okay, I think we're leaning towards White Castles.
Okay.
I really I can't do hot sauce, by the way, guys. Like, do the hot ones wing challenge. I cannot do that. Like, I would be out at the first one. I do not enjoy hot food.
I mean, I would absolutely do it, but the problem is we couldn't do it together. So
I do not like hot food like that. I don't do spicy food. I don't do any of that. I can't do any of that. I did the 1-chip challenge with my daughter.
He about died.
I thought I was going to die. It was so bad. I think we're going to settle on White Castle, but check out our socials just in case. And your socials are
at Helix Heinlein on the Hellscape tweet machine, at Country Smith on the slightly less Hellscape Instagram.
You can find me at the Scott Peachy on Instagram and Threads. I'm spending a lot more time on Threads. It's been very, very nice. And at the Helliverse over at Twitter, X, whatever it's called, at Scott Peachy. Yep. That's it. Happy holidays, brother.
You too.
I won't see you next week. Merry Christmas. Happy Kwanzaa.
I'm sure we'll video chat.
Happy Hanukkah. Oh, we will. That's not what we'll do. On our Pixels,
yes,
not our iPhones.
Yeah.
All right, everybody, be good at it. Happy holidays to you and yours. I hope that Santa brings you everything that you want. I'm hoping that he brings me about 50 pounds less. Thank you so much. We will see you in probably 2 weeks. January 3rd, the White Castle Challenge. We will start the show with just that. All right, guys. Bye.